Look what I have, r.e.m. Beauty Chapter 2. I just received this in PR and I'm so excited to dip into everything. Actually, I've been kind of playing around with things. We'll get into that in a second. This is the second collection that r.e.m. Beauty has launched. It's called Goodnight Go, which is inspired by a song from Ariana, which is one of my favorite songs actually. I'm sure you guys probably love that song as well. We've got a little brief on the back and then here are all the products. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right in. First of all, this collection is going to launch on the 21st, which is a Monday. I was really happy that I was able to play around with this for a little bit and then post it for you guys before the launch day. I'm really excited to create a look using these new products. We're going to start off with this right here. This is the new Mist Thing Calming Face Mist. So this is described as a burst of cosmic calm for stressed out skin. It has chamomile water and lavender essential oil to help the skin feel soft and hydrated. At first, I was wondering if this was like a setting spray or anything like that. It has no claims to make your makeup last at all. So it's supposed to just kind of calm the skin. Here's what the cap looks like. We've got a nice spray in here. I've already been testing these out a little bit off camera and swatching some of the collection as well so that I could give you guys a really solid opinion, even though I haven't had these with me for too long yet. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this all over to prep the face. When I tell you I love how this smells, I love how this smells. If you're a fan of lavender, you're gonna really like this. You can definitely smell the lavender in this product, but it doesn't linger too much on the skin. It basically smells like a spa. It feels very hydrating. I can definitely feel a difference on my skin when I spray this underneath makeup, and it leaves my skin looking nice and glowy too. It's not the most fine mist I've ever used, but it does spray things very evenly, which I'm happy about. So kind of fun. There's some skincare infused into this collection, which I think is really interesting. It's the first skincare slash makeup type products we're seeing from r.e.m. Beauty, which I'm excited about. Something else that's really interesting that I want to mention really quick is this product right here. So this is a lash and brow serum. So it's rounded and then has a flat end. This is technically called the Flourishing Lash and Brow Boosting Serum. This is going to retail for $40. It's peptide and biotin infused and it's for your lashes and brows. It's supposed to give you thicker lashes and thicker brows. It says in as little as 4 weeks, and those can't be real lashes in 3 months. There's also Tahitian sea microalgae to improve density and volume. So I wanted to mention this because again, this is kind of like one of those skincare products that also boosts your makeup, going alongside with like the face mist. And I am somebody who actually, I don't use lash or brow serums. My lashes are already extremely long, so I don't personally find the need to make them any longer. I don't want them any longer actually, because I find that if they're too long, my mascara smudges even more. So I'm not really able to tell you how I feel about this, but I can give you the details that I do know just based off of looking at the bottle. So we have just a basic brush tip, which I think would be really nice for applying across the lash line. It doesn't have any scent, which is really nice. So I'm excited to see like if people end up using this, people who are, you know, into lash and brow serums. Okay, so moving into eyeshadow, there's actually 3 new eyeshadow palettes in this collection. It's the exact same packaging as the eyeshadow palettes that were released in Chapter 1, but 3 new color stories. So the first color story is called Groovy Baby. It's really cute. This one is described as a cool toned blend of moody neutrals and purple tones. Next we have Smitten Kitten. This is described as Ari's signature neutral mattes and shimmers reloaded. So if you're not aware, in Chapter 1, they released a palette called Baby Doll, I believe. That's supposed to be like Ariana's signature everyday palette. So this is kind of inspired by that, but boosted with a little more deep tones and more smoky tones, I guess. And then last but not least, we have the palette called Gogo Boots. This is described as a mix of pastel pops and cool neutrals for that retro vibe you've been dreaming of. I pulled all these descriptions from like Instagram and all over because as of now while I'm filming this, there's not a ton of info in one place yet. Like it's not on the website for anyone to look at. So I did my best with my research here and tried to find, you know, what the brand describes these products to be. These palettes retail for $24 each. They're talc-free, ultra-blendable, they're lightweight, and packed with intense pigment. I actually really do enjoy the r.e.m. Beauty eyeshadow formula. I've been using their palettes quite a bit. My personal favorite is Midnight Snack. This one, I think it's so beautiful. I love this. And very unique and different. So this color story is my personal favorite still, even out of these new launches. And I'll tell you why. So when you see all of these lined up together, the color story is really cool. I love the retro vibe. You get the pastels in there, which are perfect for spring, especially these two. I think these are really fun with the lavender and the teal color. I think it's really inspiring, and I'm somebody who loves lavender and pops of pastels. And then of course we have Smitten Kitten, which is a really nice smoky neutral palette. As I was playing around with these and swatching them and trying to create a full look using one palette, I found it to be a little more difficult than I would have liked it to be to create a full look using multiple shades in these two palettes anyway. I feel like I just have such a solid routine when it comes to doing my eyeshadow, and usually it requires me to use at least two matte colors or have at least one matte color that can be a transition shade if I'm going to use something more pastel or whatever it may be. So if you're somebody who likes to use shimmers in the crease or blend shimmers together, I think you would really enjoy these. For me personally, there's not enough mattes in one palette for me to create like a full look like I usually do. With that being said, I feel like both of these palettes have shades that would look really beautiful as a wash all over the eyelids, so that's something to consider as well. The formula is really great, very pigmented, very blendable, just like the palettes that I've been using for the past couple of months, but it just takes a little more creativity and thought and maybe skill to be able to blend multiple shimmer shades together, combined with a pastel matte, and make a look that's a super wearable look. I don't know, at least for me and my personal aesthetic when it comes to makeup. With that being said, the Smitten Kitten palette is one that I feel like I can make a very full look with because it does have at least two matte shades. This one I can use as a transition, this one I can use to kind of deepen up the crease, and then the shimmer shades are really nice in here. I would say that these shimmer shades are definitely more on the satin side versus a super metallic color, which I think looks really nice and sultry, but just wanted to point that out that it is more satin when it comes to this shimmer formula. So just something to take note of. Out of these three, I would say that this palette as a whole would be my favorite because I feel like I personally could make an entire full cohesive look with it. However, I'm still super intrigued by these matte shades in these two palettes. If you're okay with hopping into other palettes while using these, if you use mattes, I think you would enjoy them. Other than that, they could potentially be hard to create full looks with on their own. With that being said, I know a lot of you really wanted me to create a look using some of the pastel colors in this collection, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my NARS eyeshadow base and just blend this out all over the eyelid. I'm actually going to start off in the Smitten Kitten palette and use the shade on the very end as my transition shade. So we're going to start with this and just kind of sweep it in the crease and a little bit above to start creating a little bit of dimension here. Okay, now that I've got a bit of dimension on the eyes, I'm actually really inspired by the picture. I will show you this one right here. It's so gorgeous. Ariana has kind of a green winged out look, and of course the green is so pretty, but I was thinking maybe I would take inspiration from this look and use the lavender color because I love lavender. We might pull in a little bit of that teal shade, we'll see. So I'm going to go into this palette, Groovy Baby, and pick up this shade right here, the matte lavender in this palette, and I'm going to use this on a more flat, dense brush. I'm going to tap off the excess and then start to pat this onto the eyelid to create a purple base across the lid. When it comes to pastel shades, I like to work in light layers, just pressing the shadow into the eyelid so that I get maximum payoff. You could, of course, keep it sheer as well, but I want a pretty obvious purple moment today. I'm going to start to kind of wing out this shadow. I'm not too concerned about the edge because we can clean it up in a second, but I'm just kind of creating an elongated shape using the purple. All right, same thing on the other eye. Okay, I feel like we have a good base so far. All right, this next eye product I think I'm the most excited about. These are called the Metallic Gel Eyeshadows. These retail for $16 each. I was sent 3 different shades, but they will be launching in 5 colors. Look how cute these are. So these are actually in glass jars, and these are described to be formulated with ultra-fine star-like pigments. They're uniquely designed gel shadows that will leave your lids glimmering like a supernova with a dreamy metallic sheen that lasts. And then apparently you can pair them with eyeshadows. You can wear them on your own. You can wear them with eyeshadow. You can also put them all over your face or your body. That's what they said on Instagram anyway. For me, I think I'll definitely stick to just the eyes with a product like this, but I'm really excited to show you because I was playing around with them earlier today and I'm so excited about them. So the 3 shades that I were sent were first Quality Time, which is this really, really pretty rich red with a pink shimmer, and then Affirmation, which is described as a dreamy rosy lavender. And then the shade Touch is a cool icy mint. So 3 really cool shades. They also do have 2 other shades. One is described as a vibrant peach and then a champagne gold. So I'll pop up the swatches from their Instagram so you can see all 5 shades lined up next to each other. But for this look particularly, I'm going to be using the shade Affirmation, which is the lavender shade. I'm super excited to put it on top of this purple shade. I was playing around with the Touch color earlier and it's so beautiful. So these are actually glass jars and then they have a little protective lid on here. When I first saw this, I was immediately reminded of the ColourPop Jelly Much eyeshadows. That's the most similar texture I've ever seen in a container. So like I said, I was playing around with these quite a bit earlier. I tested out applying this with my fingertips or a brush. Both application styles works really well, but for me personally, I feel like a brush allowed me to have a little more control. With products like this, a little goes a long way. So I just picked up a little bit of this product in the lid. I'm looking for my mirror. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna start applying this all over the eyelid, starting at the inner portion of the lid and then moving out toward the edge, basically tracing where we just applied that lavender base. Just using my brush to kind of blend this up and out. Something I noticed is this actually dries down pretty fast, so I would suggest applying this to one eye at a time. Look how pretty that is. It's so nice. You can definitely sheer these out too, especially if you're gonna wear them on their own without any, eyeshadow base underneath. In that case, I actually really liked using my fingertip and just kind of smudging it out all over the lid, even up toward the brow bone, and it left this really gorgeous, super shimmery wash of color on the lids. I think this is such a fun, innovative texture. And something else I really like about it is when it sets, it really sets. I opened up this PR package a few hours ago and was playing around with everything, and I left one of these eyeshadows by itself on my eyelid for a few hours, and I was so shocked at how well it wore. Obviously, I need to wear it for like a full day, but on me with my more hooded eyelids, products like this crease pretty easily and pretty quickly, but this one did not. I was really impressed. And you can actually feel it locking down. It feels like it's not going anywhere, which I like because I don't want a product like this, a gel or liquid type product, to be moving around all day, especially when there's glitter. I feel like it really helps secure the glitter pigments in there as well, which is super nice. Since this reminds me a lot of the Jelly Much eyeshadows, I'm super curious to see how long these last. And what I mean by that is my ColourPop ones would dry out, and I'm not saying this is an exact formula, it does feel different, but it's the most similar formula that I personally have tried, and the Jelly Much eyeshadows dry out so fast, so out of habit, just in case, I would definitely make sure to secure the lids tightly on these, and we'll see how long they last. I of course hope they won't dry out, but just in case, I'm gonna be extra cautious because I have lost one too many of my favorite Jelly Much eyeshadows on accident because I didn't screw on the lid tight enough or accidentally left it open after filming. That's the worst. It's long gone after that. Other than that, I'm super excited about these. For me, I feel like they're perfect for spring, and I don't really own anything quite like this or in colors like this, which I'm really excited about. Before moving on to the complexion, I'm just gonna wipe away any fallout and also make this edge a little sharper using my makeup wipe, but I really like how the shimmer is kind of winging out. I think that's really pretty. I'm just gonna throw on some top lash mascara. I'm gonna be using the r.e.m Beauty Volumizing Mascara, and I'm just gonna apply it to the top lashes. I like to do this when I have any glitter on the eyes so that when I'm doing the rest of my face, it catches any leftover potential fallout. Next up, we have a very interesting product. It's this right here. This is called the Full Night Sleep Cooling Blurring Under Eye Balm. This will retail for $22. When I first thought about, okay, a cooling under eye balm, I thought it might be more of a rich, super hydrating formula, but it's actually more blurring. Not to say that it doesn't, contain hydrating ingredients, but it's such an interesting texture. So this says it's energizing, cooling, soothing, and blurring. It contains go-to cola, which I don't know what that is exactly. Caffeine, mushroom extract to depuff and brighten. The mushroom extract protects against free radicals. It's supposed to be lightweight, cushiony, and cooling, and it melts into all skin tones and can be worn under makeup or alone to create a smooth canvas. So this is also a glass jar. It has a really nice weight to it. I'm hoping you'll be able to see this texture on camera. It's much more of like a whipped, moussey, matte, silicone-y type of texture, which is really interesting. It's designed for your under eye area, so I'm gonna take just a little bit on my fingertip and apply it underneath one of my eyes. When I applied this earlier today, I actually really do like the texture. Normally for me, I go for more of a super hydrating product or eye cream underneath my eyes, but I really do like the cooling feeling. You definitely feel that cooling sensation when you apply this underneath the eyes, which is nice, especially in the morning if you're trying to feel more awake. As far as the blurring properties go, I definitely do see slight blurring underneath my eye. I don't know if it's like anything revolutionary yet. I feel like this is a product that I'm gonna have to keep playing around with for a while to really figure out if it makes a big difference or not underneath my makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it right here as well. I do feel like it really does a nice job at blurring out the under eye without feeling too heavy, which is something that I do appreciate about it. Sometimes more blurring, silicone-y feeling products can feel very heavy as well. This feels really nice and lightweight, which is something different and interesting. But yeah, I've never really seen a product quite like this, which is why I've been so intrigued ever since I saw this on Trend Mood first, and then of course, you know, in my PR box. I think it's definitely comfortable under the eyes, not as hydrating as stuff that I'm normally used to putting underneath my eyes before makeup, but I also do feel like it would be good to layer on top of a more hydrating eye cream if you wanted that smoothing or blurring effect on top. So if you have super dry under eyes, I don't know if you would be obsessed with the texture of this unless you layered it on top of something more hydrating. If you're more normal or oily, I feel like this would work really well as far as the texture goes. I'm gonna quickly apply some foundation. Today I'm gonna use my Oma Beauty foundation. This shade is definitely a little too deep for me at the moment, but I'm still trying to make it work. Next, I'm gonna go into my NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum and apply this underneath the eyes. I do feel like my products apply nicely over the under eye balm, which is great. I personally would use this only under makeup. I don't really picture myself using it on its own like it says you can, just for myself. I tend to use more blurring products underneath makeup only. So it's good to know that things do apply well on top of it. I'm just gonna add a little bit of cream bronzer and then I'll come back to show you guys the next product that I'm really excited about. All right, this next product I am so excited about. To me, this concept and product could have been its own launch. I think so anyway. It's just so darling. Look at these. First of all, the packaging, of course. I'm loving having these like little astronaut moments like the lipsticks from chapter 1. This is a little different because you do get the clear dome on the top of the packaging. These are the Eclipse Cheek and Lipsticks. These retail for $18 and they will be coming in 10 shades. I was sent 3 shades. I was sent the shades Audition, which is described as a nude rose, Leading Lady, which is a bright red, and Broadway Baby, which is a warm strawberry. They're all so pretty. However, I was looking on their Instagram. I will pop up the 10 shades all in a row so you can see the amazing range. I definitely have my eye on a couple of other colors. I'm not exactly sure which colors are which in this picture, but they have some that are described. I think I would like to have Chorus Girl is described as a soft pink, Opening Night is described as a true mauve, and then Stage Mom is a nude apricot. Don't those sound delicious? For me personally, you know, I do have more of a fair skin tone, so I'm hoping to pick up some colors that will match my personal aesthetic and just my skin tone a little better. Not to say that these don't, and I'll show you guys exactly how I like to apply these, but these are just, you know, a statement. Very bright, which is nice for every once in a while, but I'm excited to check out the new shades when they launch. So for today, I'm going to be using the shade Audition, which is the most neutral shade. Again, this is described as a nude rose. So this is a cream lip and cheek stick. You just twist the bottom and then more product comes up from the top. I played around with these earlier. I applied them with my fingertips. I applied them with a sponge. I applied them with a brush. You can do whatever you would like. For me personally, I actually really liked applying it with a brush. Let me try to find the brush I used. All you have to do is just take a brush and dip it into the product like this. I always go into the back of my hand though, to really make sure it's mixed into the brush super seamlessly. These sheer out so beautifully and they apply like a dream. So I'm just gonna start stippling this onto the cheeks and you'll see how beautiful this looks. I also wanted to play around with how they would apply on top of powders, so I tested that out as well. I had no issues applying them on top of powders with this method with a brush, so that's something that I wanted to point out as well. They're extremely pigmented, but they diffuse really nicely. A little goes a long way, especially with some of those more bright, bold colors. But this is something that I am giddy about from the collection. Again, I personally feel like it could have been its own launch. That's how darling they are. I'm just gonna apply this all over the cheeks, a little across the nose. I'm gonna take it into the forehead slightly, just a little bit, and a little on the chin as well. Now I'm gonna wipe off any foundation that got on the lips, and I'm just gonna apply this directly to my lips. And you can see how pretty that is as well. Sometimes with lip and cheek multi-purpose products, I get a little skeptical because I'm always concerned about how comfy it will be on the lips. I wore this on the lips for several hours today and really, really loved how it wore. It truly did feel like a lipstick, and I like how you can blur it out and it's just gonna be this really gorgeous, more matte kind of a finish. You could also put a gloss on top. You could mix and match it with a lip liner if you would like. I'm thrilled about these. I mean, I don't even have to say anything else because of how pretty that looks all over the face. Am I right? And like when you can match your lip color to your cheeks, it's a whole vibe. If you can't tell, I think I'm the most excited about these from the entire collection. I just absolutely love them. So I did want to show you how that applied on top of all cream products. Like I said, you can set the face if you would like to and then apply them. At least I found it to be totally fine as long as you're careful and use a light hand. I am going to set the T-zone of my face with my Huda Beauty powder really quick, which is something I think is really cool about the finish of these blush sticks is they are a little more on the matte side. They're not drying by any means, but if you were to use powder afterwards and kind of stamp over the edges, it just blurs the edges even more. It's so nice. It's a really luxurious feeling formula and so pigmented too. So I feel like these are gonna last a long time, meaning you won't go through them very quickly since you don't need much at all to get a lot of pigment on the lips and cheeks. I'm gonna finish up the eyes. I'm gonna dip into the shimmer shade in the Gogo Boots palette, which is also a nice lavender. I'm gonna pick that up on a brush and I'm gonna spray my brush with the Mist Thing face mist. Tap it into the back of my hand to make sure there's no fallout. And I'm gonna go ahead and run this across the entire lower lash line. Just for an extra pop of purple, I'm kind of bringing it into the outer corner so it all looks like one cohesive shadow look. I'm gonna go into the r.e.m. Beauty Lengthening Mascara and I'm gonna apply that to the bottom lashes. I'm gonna take a little bit of this really light shimmer shade in the Gogo Boots palette and I'm gonna use this to highlight the inner corner of my eye. Okay, so I'm just assessing the situation a little bit, adding a little more blush. There are two other products that I wanted to mention that are part of this collection. One of them I have, and then the others were not sent to me. So the first thing that I do have is the Midnight Shadows Eyeshadow Gloss. So this is a gloss that you put all over the eyelid, and it's supposed to give you that cool editorial glossy lid look. I played around with this earlier today, and I applied it on top of eyeshadows and then by itself. It's definitely a very unique product. For me, I like to apply it with a brush all over the eyelid. On top of other eyeshadows, it did crease after just a little bit. This is the nature of gloss on the lids, however. I do really like how this gloss is formulated for the eyelids, so it did feel a lot more lightweight on the eyelids than, say, an actual clear lip gloss, which a lot of people use to get that effect in photos or whatever it might be. So I really did like that about this eye gloss. It didn't feel heavy, it didn't feel too sticky on the lids, which was impressive since it is a glossy product. With that being said, the packaging is just like the lip gloss, but for some reason it's a little more difficult to get the product out of this packaging, which I found to be a little bit frustrating when trying to use it for the eyes. So I had to like use both my hands to squeeze out a little bit of product and then just take what was left in the cap and brush it off with my brush. So just, you know, something to point out, not a deal breaker by any means. For me, I'm not somebody who wears an eye gloss on a regular basis. I think that this would be something for someone who's really creative. I don't feel like it's necessarily an everyday product by any means, but if you are a makeup artist or you enjoy taking more editorial photos of yourself wearing makeup, I think this could be a really fun eye gloss to pick up if you're interested in that kind of an effect. With that being said, it's not something that I reach for all the time. So for me, I was playing around with it and I put it on the back of my hand and then just picked it up with my fingertips and tapped it into the high points of the face, which I'll show you again right now, obviously. And it creates such a beautiful, balmy look to the skin. So that is an option. I mean, it's not marketed to be a face gloss, but I figured if it can go on my eyes, it can go on my cheeks. And I actually love how it looks as more of a balmy gloss because it gives me like such a fresh, glowy look. You could also like apply just a tiny bit of that on top of highlighter if you wanted to, but I wanted to show you how it looks on its own. So all over the lids, it does look really cool. Be prepared for a little bit of breaking up with your eyeshadows. Again, that's just the nature of a gloss on an eyelid. Or you could wear it on its own if you would like, which you wouldn't be able to see any eyeshadow breaking up, obviously. If you just wanted more of that super clear, wet look on the lids, you could use it by itself. But I thought it was really gorgeous on the cheeks. It gives me like glass skin, which I think is so pretty. All right, last but not least, in the Chapter 2 Goodnight Go collection are two new eyelash styles. I will put them right here. So we have Daydreamin' and Provocateur. I love the style Eternally Meowing. I've talked about that several times, and Provocateur looks kind of similar as far as having that really nice winged out shape, so I might pick those up, we will see. But just wanted to mention the other two lash styles that are a part of this collection, and those will be retailing for $16. Okay, I really love how my makeup looks. I am going to spray the mist one more time all over my face. It smells so good, you guys. I really wish you could smell it through the camera. It smells so nice. I'm just gonna gently take my sponge and press that down into the skin. And then of course, I'm going to set my brows with my Benefit Brow Gel. I love how this look turned out though. I feel so ready for spring. This is exactly what I've been craving lately. Just some spring looks. I'm excited to keep filming more. But this lavender shimmery winged out eye is so pretty. I've never done something quite like this. I typically don't bring shimmers out in a wing shape, but I love how it looks. So there you have it. There's r.e.m. Beauty Chapter 2. I hope you guys found this helpful. Hopefully it was helpful for you to hear my opinions on everything kind of as we went along. I think overall this is a really nice collection. Of course, it's always going to be up to you to decide what inspires you, what you feel like will add something to your collection, and all of that. For me personally, I have 3 top picks that I wanted to share with you that I'm the most excited about. Number 1 being the cheek and lip sticks. I am already obsessed with these. I will definitely be camped out on the website on launch day to pick up some colors that I think I'll wear all the time. These colors are really fun and bold. This one's really nice. It's a good peachy neutral, so I feel like I will get a lot of use out of this. But if there's a good mauve, forget about it. Like, I'm so excited already, and I haven't even, seen that color in person. I just know I'm gonna really like it. And it was nice to be able to try out the formula because now I'm confident that I can pick up more colors and I'm gonna really enjoy the formula. This is so good. I'm really obsessed with that. The second thing I'm super thrilled about are the metallic eyeshadows, specifically these 2 shades. I might pick up another one of the more neutral shades or maybe the peach one, but Affirmation and Touch are definitely my favorites. I was playing around with This one. This is called Quality Time. It looks pretty intimidating inside the bottle, but it actually looks really cool all over the eyes by itself. I was playing around with it and doing a similar shape to this, but I used a makeup wipe to kind of clean around the edges and it looked really cool. I feel like the pink glitter is what really shines most in this, even though you do have a more warm red base. It's a cool color, but if I had to just recommend two, I would do the two pastel colors because that's just my vibe and it screams spring. So I really loved these from r.e.m. These are super cute and so chic looking on the eyes. I'm obsessed. My third pick would have to be the face mist. This is something that actually took me by surprise, but all day today I was obsessing over the scent. Every time I sprayed this on my face, it smells so good. It's definitely gonna sit on my desk. Even though it's not marketed to be a setting spray of any kind, I'm gonna make it a setting spray. It's nice to just have a hydrating mist to kind of melt down those powders after you do your makeup, and I'm gonna keep this on my desk for the smell, the experience. It's really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised by this product. I think you guys will be too. It's really good. I'm excited. I think the eyeshadow palettes were really cute as well, but again, I couldn't just pick one. For me, I feel like I'm gonna have to dip into at least two of the new eyeshadow palettes to create a look that I personally like with a transition shade and maybe more matte shades to kind of ground the outer edge of my eye. So yeah, those are definitely my top picks as of now out of all these new products from this collection. I would love to know what you guys loved the most from this collection. Are you planning on picking anything up? If so, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I love how my makeup looks right now. I really love how this turned out. This eye look is really something else. I'm thrilled about it. That was so fun to try out. Thank you r.e.m Beauty and Ariana for sending this package my way. I really enjoyed trying everything and creating a look with it, and I'll definitely be using these products in future videos as well, especially the cheek and lipsticks. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to buy more colors of that, so stay tuned for more videos of me using that, especially right now since it's spring. I'm like very inspired by these products. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie. I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber, we want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. I will have all these products listed and linked with all the details in the description box down below. I hope you all have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!